Okay, so we are super pumped for this. What are we watching today?
We are watching the trailer of Superpumped. It's a TV series by Showtime.
Yeah, so we don't know whether this is going to be available for us to watch.
I think it should be
It should be because
through other platforms, maybe.
Yeah, because this is a series about a very controversial person.
Yeah.
Super Pumped, the battle for Uber. This is out for release this year, 2022. Let's watch the trailer.
Yeah.
My name is Travis. I am the founder and CEO of Uber.
Wow, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. he's
Love
back.
this guy. He's such a good actor.
Yeah.
We've seen him play so many characters before. We love him in the Dark Knight and everything. I especially like him in that
Jesus.
movie with Scarlett Johansson because of Scarlett Johansson, actually. But yeah, he's playing the founder and CEO of Uber. Ooh.
Okay. They just described his nature in
Yeah.
like the most controversial terms.
Yeah.
Travis Kalanick.
Yeah. So Travis Kalanick with time became notorious for a lot of reasons, and that started taking the highlight out of Uber. And those were one of the reasons why he was asked to step down, and he had a very dramatic exit with time, with a lot of lawsuits, plenty of things that came into character, and a lot was spoken about how he is as a boss, right?
Okay.
Because he was very abrasive. He barely cared about how his employees were getting things done, and he asked for perfection, but that's what there is, right? There's a very thin line between being a genius and between being a
And also
very
super,
bad person.
Yeah. But honestly, I didn't know about so much. I didn't know so much happened.
Yeah.
I must have heard a few stories once in a while, but I
Right.
didn't know it was worth material for a show.
So how Uber came into existence is also a fun little story. It was how one of the co-founders and him met, and they were speaking about how it's very difficult to hail a taxi, and then they decided to come up with an app. And then the company started to grow big. He started taking ownership, and the other two people had to give up their stake, and then he was known as the sole CEO and co-founder.
Okay.
The company just took off. Some of the biggest people were part of the investment team, right? So you had Ashton Kutcher. There was Steve Jobs as one of the investors as well. So the amount of money that they've raised and how they grew all across the world, and what he did to lobby and curb competition is really, really interesting, because right from the Lyfts of the world to Grab, all these taxis don't have the domination that Uber does. Why is that? And how did he go about it? Forms for a very interesting story.
Yeah, I think so, because Uber was definitely revolutionary
Yeah.
in many ways. So I think the story will be pretty interesting because he's the guy who made it happen.
What you might have read, I am not a monster.
Oh,
Okay,
Uma
Uma Thurman
Thurman
is
is in the movie.
Yeah.
It's not a movie, but it's a web series.
Controversial opinion, but she looks a little old, no?
But it's Uma Thurman.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
So she's great. She's legendary. Sharon Stone with time has grown old, but for me, Basic Instinct, Sharon Stone will always be Sharon Stone.
Okay.
Reasons why you fall in love with
Yeah.
a particular
True.
star, I guess everyone has their reasons. But Uma Thurman, I really wish this was a movie and not a web series.
I think these days, because of the
TV
format
series.
of TV series, because it's more detailed, that has become a bigger hit than movies.
Yeah, you have more time to explore
Yeah,
various
the
different
character
subjects.
arc can be covered well in a TV series, right?
Yeah.
Notorious bad boy of tech.
You willing to listen to wise counsel? I will always listen, but I will never take orders. Is this legal?
Yeah, you heard that. So he'll always listen, but he'll never really follow their orders.
Yeah. So basically, it shows that he's pretty dominating, and also a bad boy.
Yeah. And they're asking if this is legal. And so he
Everybody
used
in
to...
the room is laughing.
Yeah, so people would work at all different times, and you can imagine the amount of lawsuits, because this was a one of its kind business opportunity that blew up, right?
Yeah.
Now, in case a driver misbehaved with a passenger, who is to take blame for it? Because Uber didn't employ any of the drivers.
Yeah,
The
it was
drivers
just a
were all
partnership
sole
basis.
partnership basis.
Yeah.
So a legal nightmare to begin with, and he was known to be a person who will get work out of people at odd times. Meetings would happen
Weekends, all
late at
throughout
night,
the night,
weekends
and
as well.
they've put these different time zones of different countries over here.
Everyone's working.
Yeah,
at all
everyone's
times,
working.
I guess.
The best thing about
Also, what they did with driver information and passenger information is again super questionable.
Super controversial, right? Because I think that is what they're asking. I think we covered that in another fever recommends that we did.
Yeah, whether it's legal, what you do with
Says
info.
that he is willing to run through walls to win. The worst thing about him is he thinks everything is a wall.
If there's something that's gonna kill Uber, then I have to remove it.
You're not the one who has to pay the price.
Yeah.
Super sarcastic.
My life is on the line here. And all of you bleed for it.
Ooh.
Are we super pumped?
Super pumped.
Eventually, this guy was kicked out of his own company, right?
Yeah, he had to
Yeah.
step down because the company was getting damaged in every way because he's part of it, even though he founded the company. And there was a video that started doing the rounds about how this one cab driver who dropped him said that, hey, the rates of cab drivers are getting lower and lower by the day, for which he said that, why aren't you working harder? So a lot of PR damage that happened with his reputation and everything. And finally, he had to step down, but he is still part of the board members in a way and things like that.
I saw that he in 2019 he resigned from that as well.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I
crazy.
read.
So all this drama forms a very, very interesting
Yeah.
TV show, and that's what we've noticed with time, right? No matter how notorious you are, there is always room for a documentary around you.
As long as you're successful. Otherwise, nobody cares about
Otherwise, nobody
it. Be
cares.
ruthless,
Yeah.
but make sure you make enough money for people to make a show about you.
Even if you end
Very
up in
simple.
prison, there is always room for a documentary around you.
Yes, do something big. That's all that matters.
But
I
yeah,
guess.
it's a shame that we won't get to see it on Showtime at least.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll figure out a way, and
Yep.
we look forward for this series.
Figure out a way.